Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. Yada, yada, yada.
So with us on Zoom, we haven't talked to this gentleman in a little bit, only because, you know, winter in Florida, although it got bad hail. I will talk to him about that.
Yeah, we will. We'll get into storms and hail and all kinds of things. When we love it when our buddy Mike from Mike's Weather Page drops by.
Yeah. How you doing, Mike?
Hey guys, really good. And it's been active winter. I don't know. We've had tornadoes. They just confirmed the one yesterday in Winter Haven. That's kind of close to you all. Yeah, we had one in Bradenton. So yeah, it's wacky. Hail. The hail is really crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I hate the wacky hail.
I don't know if you saw the hail on my social media. You probably don't follow me. He's
He's got 22,000 people watching him for weather. Let's go see what this guy's doing in his backyard.
Yeah. But I had a crazy hailstorm at my house that lasted 3 to 5 minutes straight, and it was pouring hail.
Yeah.
And it was the worst I've ever seen it. It came on strong and stayed strong, and then left for the rest of the day, and then it rained. But it seemed like the entire state of Florida got bad hail in different spots.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'll post Facebook memories. I'll pop on there sometimes, and about this time last year, we had some of the same setup with the hail. So it's kind of uncommon. You know, they even had some possibly down in the Keys, those are like, what the hell? Literally, what the hell?
Yeah. You don't want to be standing in the Keys, have some hail come by and knock your banana hammock off. You're down there dancing in Garden of Eden, and hail is pelting your naked old man body.
So
yeah, it sounds like a new Jimmy Buffett song.
Yeah.
You need to get on it.
Hail in Key West.
So, Mike, what causes that hail? Is it because we're still seeing the cold weather front, or is it like it's still cold up in the upper atmosphere, which freezes the rain?
Yep.
My daughter says it's because God has a lot of pee-pee.
Well, when we transition to the summertime pattern, the thunderstorms are more, intense. These are supercells that produce these hail storms. So yeah, the atmosphere is definitely cooler still. And in the supercells, it just the water basically, or your raindrops bounce around up in these thunderstorms before they finally fall down, giving it time to freeze. So it's just the intensity of these supercells that we're starting to see this transition, into the summertime pattern. Once the atmosphere warms up, yes, it less frequent in the summertime.
So before we talk about this year's hurricane season, because I'm already starting seeing, I'm seeing the memes. I'm seeing people they're projecting one of the worst seasons. It was always the same.
I thought last year it was this will be the most.
Every year.
They use a specific term, active.
Active,
the most active season yet.
So before we talk hurricane season, our event is this Saturday, and the fact that we had this crazy storm come through, obviously I've been looking at the weather, and the farther away it is in Florida, the less accurate it is, obviously. So it just, one time it says 40%, then it goes down to 24%, then back and forth. It changes by the hour.
It can completely change, and I'm just worried about having my sailor hat blown off.
And then, so I don't know, is it one of those things, Mike, where it's really kind of impossible to accurately predict in a certain spot what we're going to see Saturday, right?
No, the good thing that's on your side is we normally, we picked up on this event for the weekend almost a week ago or a week before that. So usually 5 to 6 days is a comfortable window that you can start feeling confident. So the long-term weather pattern for us is good for you guys. We got a stalled front that's going to be just laying on top of the Panhandle and the upper Gulf Coast, and it could inch its way a little south. It could pull itself a little north.
I tried to get my wife to lay on my Panhandle last night and inch a little south, and
then I mentioned a couple inches at the same time.
No going.
So far we don't have any organized system that looks like it's going to like be a hail maker or a tornado threat. So, there's always that outside chance of rain, but if this lingering front sticks to our north a little bit, then you guys are going to be good to go.
My big question for you, that sounds terrific, but my big question to you, when you get people like Tony, our social media manager and event coordinator, he's in there bothering you while you're working. Yeah. Big fan. Tom's asking you, get on the air, please get, like, you, in my opinion, are like the DJ at any popular bar, and you have a slew of people coming up and say, really get the club going, or really play this, and you're getting all suggestions, and can you play
the thong song?
Yeah, do you get tired of having thong song Toms run up to you and ask you, give me the weather for my kid's birthday party, or, hey, Mike, or do you get a lot of people, your friends, family included, that bother you because they take advantage of your hobby?
I'm more afraid of being wrong than right, so I will look into it usually to make sure I don't blow it. So yeah. I don't get tired of it because I got to examine the weather anyways, because I want to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. So so like going on your show today, if you would have just asked me out of the blue what the weather was, I would have been like, I would have been over here like Googling, like looking up maps.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, I usually do that. Don't tell. But I actually had a plan, like because of Tony this morning. Message in our little chat room.
Yeah, Tony's always on it, and it's good to know that you understand all of those things. When you start talking about front stalling and this and that, that's where Tom and I start to check out a little bit as far as our knowledge.
No, it's fun. I mean, this time of year is kind of. But I told everybody last week the unofficial start of hurricane season was last Thursday. That's when the Colorado State University puts out their first official forecast, and the whole media world goes nuts when they see the first forecast, and it's like clockwork. Once that forecast comes out, then people start getting a little panicky. So yeah, we're counting down to the season.
Well, let's talk about it, Mike. So I've seen the memes and I've seen the social media, and they're like, "Oh, this could be one of the worst years ever." But
every year,
every year they say that. So what's the truth, Mike? Because you'll tell us.
Well, I used to think that the long range forecasts were ridiculous, and to a point I still do, because it only takes one. I don't if you never heard it, it's a very important slang term. It only takes one, because just because we had 20, 30, 40, 50 storms doesn't mean anything. If you aren't affected, or none of these storms, let's talk about Florida, none of these storms impact Florida, then it's not really that big a deal. When we had Hurricane Andrew, it was late in the season. It was the first storm of the year. So don't get so wrapped up in these numbers. I see a lot of people start panicking, when they oh my God, it's going to be an above average season. But what I do agree with, and I was pretty much calling it months out, is we would see this prediction. The weather factors that influence storms is happening again this year that happened last year. And it's basically only comes down to a couple things. There's something called El Nino and La Nina. We're not going to be in an El Nino year, which basically means that the environment's to be more favorable for hurricanes and tropical development in the Atlantic. So we're not in an El Nino, which is a plus for hurricanes. And the water temperatures are right now a little bit warmer than average. So, you basically just take a couple parameters like that, and you're going to say, well, it's not going to be less active. But to know where one's going to go is impossible. One shift in the weather pattern. I always use Sandy for an example, because it was a high pressure system. Half the models had it going out to sea, the other half had it going to New York. And just a slight bobble of that high pressure system blocked Sandy, and it went right into the New Jersey, New York. So I see a lot of people predicting, this little spot's going to get them this year. That's hogwash. I don't think there's any way anybody knows where they're going to go.
Yeah. So, Mike, of course, last year we saw a record number of named storms all the way until we got to the Greek alphabet, and so are we going to see storms earlier this year? Like if you were going to predict, when do you think the first named storm will appear?
Well, the other thing that's happened this season, which got people really worked up, is the NHC is going to start issuing their daily forecast starting May 15th this year. Not a move of the official hurricane season. It has to be voted on by a worldwide meteorology organization. But the NHC is going to start issuing daily forecasts every 6 hours starting May 15th. So that's kind of big news. A lot of people heard it and got panicky, like, oh my God, they're moving up the hurricane season. Well, the interesting fact is that 7 out of the last 9 years, we've had a named system in May. So it's not really uncommon to get a system in May. It's very common, actually. So again, May is next month. But what we usually get talking about these fronts, like we're seeing this week, these fronts are going to 99% of the time, early season systems come from old fronts that actually they die in the Gulf or East Atlantic, close to our Florida coast, and they'll turn into little low pressure areas, and they'll be weak. They'll be tropical storms, but they still produce a lot of rain. And nothing to laugh about, but that's how we get our early season. These fronts come down, they kind of die. Atmosphere is warm and moist and juicy. I say that all my fans love the word moist. We talked about that one time with you guys.
Yeah, moist and juicy. I like
moist and juicy.
Yeah.
Kind of like my shirt. I got the Tom and Dan shirt.
Yeah, that's a juicy shirt you got on. Drip.
It's not uncommon. It doesn't mean we're gonna have a busy season. Because we get an early season storm, we usually get a lull. As a matter of fact, we'll get a system in May, maybe June, and then all of a sudden it's like maybe through July we don't get anything. Everybody's like, the season's a bust, and then all of a sudden things heat up again. So,
and that's where we see the worst part of it in end of August, September, right?
Oh yeah, yep. September, August, October last year, even first part of November we had Ada. And that was a really interesting storm for me.
I remember that, yeah.
So, are we safe to say, at the beginning of the season, May, June, and just so I understand it, because I like to understand what you're telling us, as far as the weather goes, the cold fronts continue to come down. I guess low pressure systems continue to push down in a cycle continuously through basically the entire time, right? Even in the summer.
Yeah, they don't reach as far as down through the top of maybe Panhandle. They might get going. Formation starts after June and July. Other areas, these are starting to be tropical waves that come across Africa. So the tropical waves, originate in Africa, and one of the predictors for why the season is going to be active too is Africa moisture. Future maps are showing that Africa is going to be busier than normal rain-wise, and that equals that we're going to have more tropical waves make it across the Atlantic. Right. And those kickstart tropical development on the other side, not talking front. So the fronts are usually end-of-season formation like November and early season formation when they provide a little kick to get going in the low pressure, and the only reason it happens then is because the water temperatures are warm. Yeah. We always have these fronts, early in the year, January, February, March. Usually the water temperature is too cold to sustain, any sort of development.
Interesting.
So, Mike, I know last year you started to dabble in some storm chasing. Are you fully geared up to do the same this year? Are you going into it?
You need to buy a full cyber truck.
Trash can
release the ping pong. Release the ping pong balls into the storm.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I was chasing this weekend. I went. It was a front, but I ended up down in Fort Myers. It was the craziest thing. I'm going Facebook Live, so I'm chatting with people and. I got underneath this front that went through the whole state, and you've probably seen it. The shelf cloud, the mothership, the coolest photos on the planet are these big ass, frontal boundaries. They look like a spaceship.
Yeah.
So my whole goal was to get on the other side of the spaceship to take a picture of it coming back at me. So I got out an exit Tucker's Grade, which is north of Fort Myers, and I got out just in time, and the damn thing was right over me. I didn't go far enough, so I had to get back in the truck and haul ass, and I got some really cool footage. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to storm chase. I love it. And a lot of our supporters are in the storm industry. And one of the coolest things we did last year, we met a couple of them, and our fans love the behind the scenes with first responders or power companies, that kind of thing. So I'm going to really coordinate more education.
That's awesome.
With the fun. I think it'll go well.
Mike,
it is fun.
So with your audience and your pool, you are a huge influencer in the weather business. Maybe even, you have more followers than most news weather people I know of.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Maybe some national news weather people have bigger followers, or
he has as
Brian
much
Norcross.
Well, there's certain local weather people in LA that he has probably the same amount of
So
thousands of followers.
do you think you could use that notoriety to hitch a ride on one of the hurricane planes that
not a bad idea.
and actually because I think those you can get on as a passenger, they do like ride-alongs, I think, right? How does that work?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. It turns out one of the biggest fans is actually a real hurricane hunter. And last year they had a picture all drinking our beer, the Hurricane Hunter beer, in front of the plane when it just landed after tracking a hurricane. So they're big fans. But because of COVID, they can't do anything right now. But they swear that they're going to do everything they can to get me up there and have a suit fitted. And
Are you gonna wear a suit?
Crazy.
Well, you got to wear a tuxedo. It's very fancy. It's a fancy ass plane.
What kind of suit do you have to wear? Like a pilot suit?
Yeah, it's like this Air Force, jumpsuit. I'm sure that they all wear.
And then you get your name on it, and then you take it home and you boof your wife in it. And you're like, I'm the Top Gun now.
Yeah.
Real role play.
I gotta tell you, I'm not a nervous flyer, but maybe flying into the eye of a hurricane would be a little sketcy.
I am a nervous flyer, and I'm voting no on that.
I've seen videos, man. Them guys and girls are rocking. I mean, they're in the plane shaking, and they're dropping drop zones and one of our biggest fans. Believe it or not, he sent a picture wearing his Drunk Donkey shirt when they were dropping the drop zones right in the eye of the hurricane, and he whipped it out like Superman, and he was wearing it. This is my if people had asked me my most famous pick or my favorite pick, it would be that from last year. So they're cool people, they're very professional, and
that's
they're
awesome,
brains.
man. It's really cool that you've been able to use something that is just an interest of yours and kind of maneuver your way into that space.
Mike, are you familiar with any of the old school? I love these, by the way. It's like in the 1950s, the government tries to go through different trials or experiments.
Nuclear bomb a cloud.
Yeah. Where they try to see if will dropping a bomb inside of a hurricane dissipate it enough where those kind of ridiculous things. Then they do a little science. They're like, that won't work.
It's blowing the radiation everywhere. Oh no!
Now it's a radiation storm.
Oh man!
So there is nothing in theory that we've ever even contemplated that could disperse a hurricane. I know they talked about seeding it with some sort of large amounts of salt or some crazy, there's all these different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with any of these?
Yeah, well, our fans always bring up stuff, and one of them, just Wikipedia, my favorite source, but they did it in the 60s, and it was a real project run by the government where they tried it. It was silver iodides or something that they dumped. So apparently it was called Project Storm Fury. So it was a real deal. They tried. I think the story of that one, or one of the ones I heard, was they thought it was working, and then the storm turned around and was a monster. So they were like, this ain't working.
Yeah. It seems like you got a 300-mile wide, gigantic mega hurricane and dropping one.
Put some CBD in it.
Dropping one.
Oh, God.
Military.
We just made its knees better. It's coming fast.
Yeah, even the biggest C-130 filled with whatever the hell would be a drop of.
Fly over and put some essential oils. Poof some lavender at it.
The drop of water in the ocean, how was that going to do anything? You would need 1,000 megatons of whatever,
it's beyond even my scope.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
poof.
even if they showed me 75 planes filled with CBD, I'd be like, it's not enough. You're going to need way more.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, everybody theorizes. You got the chemtrail folks, that think the chemtrails are harps and their thing.
Well, I believe in that.
Yeah, no,
and you know why they make you wait 15 minutes after your vaccine? So the GPS chip can recalculate where you are.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I heard AOL's login.
Yeah, mine kept beeping.
My ear.
Mine kept beeping because I won't stand still. I haven't been still since 3 weeks ago when I got my first dose. I'm always moving. Always moving. You'll never find me,
It's
government.
What's that guy? Adrenaline.
Look, if I'm going to get shots, Sleepy Joe ain't going to get me. I'll tell you that right now. I'll hide everywhere.
So Mike, the official start is May 15th, or that it's already technically started?
Well, no, June 1st, they kept, that's what's so weird. They're going to be doing forecasts May 15th, but the official start date is June the 1st. So,
okay.
I think it's because they have to get voted on by like a world organization. They want to move it up to May 15th. So officially not official. It's officially not official yet.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
But that's next month, So people get, the one word that I've heard the most of is hype. People hate hype, and I think some people really hate hurricane season. And that's where the media comes along, and you start seeing these projections. Dates moved up, higher average, above average season. Maybe I can get it. People get really worried. So yeah, I think the most easiest thing to say is just have a plan. I mean, I sound like a robot now saying that, but I believe in it now. People have a plan, like know your evacuation zone, have a hurricane kit, know where you're going to go if we get a storm. And it's easy because you have days of planning on a hurricane. It's not like a tornado where it whips up and you have no sign that it's coming. You have plenty of time with hurricanes, plenty of time. So there's no reason to get worked up.
That's I think that's the thing with, like, if I was going to have to deal with anything, I feel like hurricanes, and people from around the country are like, oh yeah, hurricanes you have to worry about. But I'm like, yeah, but there's so much time that we have a forecast, to prepare for, that if you wanted to literally just take you play it safe and drive north, you can plenty of times, days and days before you know.
Normally I'm not helpful, and normally I just want to make jokes, but I'm going to tell you something that's real in the Dennis household, and I bet you guys do it, especially if you think you are prepared. You hear Mike say, have a plan. In my household, we do have a plan, basically because my wife has plans for everything. Not me, but she does. She has a hurricane kit. It's got everything in it. It's got the weather radio that you can crank. It's got all the batteries, perfect flashlights, candles, lighters. But if you start stealing those batteries from your hurricane kit to play Xbox, and you don't replace them with fresh batteries, then you're out of luck. So just always replace your Xbox batteries. It's the only good tip I'm going to give you. Stop stealing your wife's batteries.
I do have to tell you, the number one item you need is a portable battery pack, the USB charging battery pack.
Like a bank, power bank.
Yeah, and definitely get high milliamp. The bigger the milliamp, the more it'll charge. That's the number one thing people have been thankful for, is being able to charge their cell phones. Think about stuff like that. Or a 12-volt inverter for your car.
Yep.
A lot of cars don't have 110-volt outlets in your car, but you could buy a simple plug-in a cigarette lighter.
I got 220 in there. I run my dryer off my car.
Or your K-cup machine.
Yeah.
Or your hair dryer. No hair dryers. You can't plug a hair dryer. No hair drying in a hurricane.
Don't do it.
Well,
burn it, sucker up.
If you want to follow Mike, of course, follow him on Facebook, Mike's weather page. Just search for it. You do live broadcasts daily. And you will listen. It's who I follow for all storm information.
It's the only weather person. Sorry, weather people.
Yeah, because he gives it to us the straight, honest, from what Mike believes answer.
Yeah, your posts are direct.
There's no grandiose. There's no.
Here's what I think.
Yeah. And again, I want to thank ABC. You mentioned Hurricane Hunter beer. You can still get that at certain ABCs around Florida, correct?
Oh, heck yeah. Sean's the big wig over there. He's a big fan. We got it in 75 stores now.
Hey, thanks for sending us some too. I've been sipping on it. It is delicious. A very tasty beer.
Oh, I'll bring a bunch this week. That first batch sold out. I actually ordered it online to give it to you guys. I was out.
It's really good, man. It's a really tasty beer. If you guys haven't tried it, make sure you jump out there and try to get some.
It's fun. We went to the Tampa Bay Rays game over the weekend. I had way too much. It's 7.5%.
Yeah.
I had to look up the score in the morning to see who won.
That'll get you.
That was a good baseball game.
That'll get you the next day. You're like, what happened?
And I think we can all agree that hot dog diarrhea is the worst.
So
is that the problem then? Okay.
It's bad. Hot dog.
I'll send pics.
Yeah. All right. don't send pics. Mike, hopefully we'll see you on Saturday. And we'll definitely come by and say hi. I know with these events we're usually crazy busy.
Yeah,
how it is. But
look for me. I'm wearing a sailor costume.
Yeah. We'll see you, Mike.
We'll be wearing a shirt.
I hope so. It's a nice picture. Like if you're in there, whipping.
I'm going to bring a Hurricane Hunter jumpsuit.
All right.
Yeah. Do it.
We'll talk to you soon, man.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
See ya.
Thank you, Mike.
Did I embarrass you? Come on, be honest. I embarrassed
No,
you.
no. Mike,
Because me and Mike want to party, and you're a stick in the mud. You're like, oh, hold on, put your shirt on, Mike. Oh, calm down, Daniel.
No. Mike's cool. He roll with anything.
Yeah. He will roll. See, that's a guy who likes fun.
Yo, he does. Yeah. I see his social. I'm like, God, he's having fun. Like, why does everybody have so much fun? Anyway, all right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. It is now time to do the thing that involves the pork. If you guys were at a barbecue joint, would you choose garlic bread or a corn muffin? If they gave you the choice between garlic toast and corn biscuits, which would you take? My wife's a corn muffin girl, and I'm a Texas toast boy. So Texas toast or corn muffins, which one would give you joy? Tom Baird, you go.
We love porky, yeah!
I like corn muffins.
The correct answer was corn muffin.
Pork is barbecue.
You got that right. The correct answer was corn muffin.
I do enjoy a corn muffin. Haven't
It's
had one in a
an
long time.
underutilized choice, and I normally go Texas toast, and I get burned for it a lot.
The garlic and the cheese and the Texas toast.
Testicle toast.
Oh my God.
It's too much like Italian to me. You know, it's like a.
Okay,
Yeah.
It bleeds over, doesn't it?
The corn muffin, it feels like
Seems like
southern.
Southern
barbecue.
It's
And
like
it-
barbecue.
And is it your dessert? It could be. If it's sweet cornbread,
Right.
you put a little honey butter on it.
it's Texas toast. I'm Florida.
Yeah. And I like vinegar-based barbecue, which really has no place in Texas barbecue, which is brisket.
Porky's barbecue alpaca. They have
Alpaca.
Texas toast. They have
and barbecue, alpaca. Try the testicle toast.
Who's porking, Sam?
Would you have to
I'm
write?
just
Would you
making
have
a
to write
note
down?
in case I have
you
to cut
wrote
that out.
something down. You
I
wrote
did.
something down in your Mo DeWitt suing diary.
Yeah.
What are you writing?
Scratch that out.
Dear
That's
diary,
for
Tom
later.
mentioned his testicle
I
toast
know
again.
Mo's back
Travis,
from Jamaica. I
Get
gotta
in here and grab this away from her. And if she puts up a fight, struggle with her.
struggle with her.
Get in there. Hit her with the testicle toast.
So this guy's been porking quite a bit over the last few years. He's about to welcome another set of twins. Nick Cannon, the 40-year-old host of The Masked Singer. You may know he has 9-year-old twins, Monroe and Moroccan, with his ex-wife, Mariah Carey.
Wait, one of the twins is named Monroe, and the other one's name is
Moroccan.
All right.
Yeah.
I
Moroccan
don't like making
Cannon,
fun of
Monroe
kid names,
Cannon.
but I just wanted to clarify.
He also has 4-year-old Golden and nearly 4-month-old Powerful with Brittany Bell. So he's very, creative with his children's names. But now he's going to have another set of
Wait,
twins.
there's Monroe, and then what's the other
There's
one?
Monroe, Moroccan. Those
Okay.
are the twins with Mariah
I
Carey.
feel like Monroe got the short stick because you got Golden, you got Power, you got Moroccan. I mean, these are crazy names, like spicy names. And then
Yeah.
you got Monroe, which is pretty normal name.
I think it's from Marilyn Monroe. I could be wrong there, but now he's expecting another set of twins with his girlfriend, Abby De La Rosa, who's a 30-year-old DJ.
Now,
This DJ and the music thing, it's going to be big.
so the twins with Mariah Carey,
Yes.
I suspect was in vitro because a lot of, if you got the money, I think they
And I believe she was older when she got pregnant.
I think so.
Are
yeah.
they a boy and girl twins?
Yes.
Okay, so that's okay to me. Now I know it could be natural, but I would bet heavily that it is in vitro because rich people, I've heard this, you can do in vitro and choose boy girl twins, and like that's the best. If you want to be like one pregnancy done, boy girl
I've
twins
seen
are
a lot of-
yeah.
I have a lot of
and you
friends.
can pay to get it.
I have a lot of friends that I have seen that we all know that I think have done this and done the boy-girl twin.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, she did do IVF.
And sometimes
And
you get
even the girlfriend is the new
The
one?
girlfriend, I don't know. Let me see.
Because that's young now. Because usually,
But it also could be. I mean, it could just be run in their family. Maybe Nick's got a lot of twins in his family.
Yeah, but it's so statistically rare, especially like boy girl identical twins
Yeah,
like
it
that.
is.
Like
It's weird.
So, but with in vitro,
It's a
Now
recessive
she's expecting
gene, right?
2 twin boys.
It's
So
like a
she's having 2
passive
boys.
gene, right? Or what do they call that? Non-dominant?
I don't know. I'm not sure
Because it's the rare one. So it's the non. It's like brown eyes and blue eyes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Blue
it's
eyes
recessive,
is,
yeah.
blue eyes always is the recessive gene, right?
No, blue eyes. Well,
Is the dominant gene?
you can't have a brown-eyed kid if both parents are blue eyes.
correct.
Yeah. So
But you can have a blue-eyed kid
yes,
if both parents
yes,
are brown eyes.
yeah.
Yes.
That happened with me. Like my mom and dad were both brown eyes, and then I had blue eyes for my grandfather.
Did they hold you up and they're like, he's Jesus?
My mom and dad both have brown eyes. I have brown eyes, but both of my brothers have blue eyes.
Yeah.
My
So-
aunt and uncle both have brown eyes. Their son blind at birth.
So with
You got Butler on that one.
all right.
I made all that up. It's not even real.
The back to Nick Cannon. So he is nutty, right?
I think so, yeah. He goes.
I think there's a tinge.
He says a lot of
there.
weird things. He says some outlandish things. But he's still think
also,
about it.
like, man, you already
Rapper,
got one
singer.
set of twins, which has got to be extremely difficult, right?
Nah,
but then now
he
you
got
got
teens.
2.
Yeah. Nah, he
you have
got
a
a teen.
baby and
Yeah.
a toddler already right now.
You're rich. You got you.
It's different than us.
You got
Sam. He's got people.
All 3 different
Yeah.
parent. How do you manage your time between
With 3 different teams?
And he has a million jobs, right?
Yeah,
So he
you
has a million
don't.
jobs, and he's gonna have 6 kids now,
No, you
all in
don't.
different households.
Oh, they all
Well,
get
yeah, Mariah
parent-
Carey's got unlimited money. He does basically, and his girlfriend's probably rich too.
So you're
It's like-
basically gonna do the Mr. Rogers scenario where you don't really spend time with your own children.
Well, when you put it like that, it sounds so negative. He's just not going to spend time with them because he has all these other jobs.
Now you do forget, like, sometimes us normos, we are like, man, we're so busy with work and then all this other stuff in life that how do people with more stuff than I have to do spend time with their kids? But they're not doing all the other stuff that normal people do, like clean their house, like organize their garage, like all this other minutia day to day, like pay the bills. You go take
Car
your car
wash.
to to get new tires.
Blood test. The doctor comes to you at that point.
Yeah, all this minutia that's regular life stuff, these people don't have to do because they have assistants and they
Nick
have
Cannon-
nannies and
Nick Cannon does not stand in line at the Chinese restaurant
No, they're not
with
grocery
25
shopping.
other people
Yeah.
trying to get food while his wife is having it delivered at the house.
so even if you work a lot, all the other life stuff that you don't have to do can just be spending time with your kids, right? Because you don't have to do anything. So it's maybe there's that.
But looking at
he
the way
also
these
must
kids
be like either in open relationships or he's just straight up cheating because he has a 4-month-old, and then now this other woman is announcing her pregnancy with twins.
don't kink shame. He's just
I'm not kink shaming. It's just
he's a sexy
He
boy.
he has not announced it at all that he's having twins
Oh.
with this woman. She did on her Instagram.
Ooh,
So
you
back
gotta
to
time
him.
that stuff out.
Getting real messy over there, Cannon.
There's
He likes it like
His
that. I
daughter's
think.
name is Powerful Queen Cannon.
back to Nutty.
Yeah.
So here's why
I don't like giving my daughter that much to, like for Maisie.
Yeah,
I
what
just
if
I kept it
they don't
normal.
live up to their name?
I kept it normal in case she goes the drug route because they can.
So this is why, and this
I
is
just farted.
the nutty. No. Why you want to? You
Sorry,
can hold your farts.
I thought I could, but that one I couldn't.
You lifted up the fart out loud.
I did. I just wanted to see what would happen, and it
What do you put?
it
What would
happened.
happen?
You know what's gonna happen.
still got it. I still got it.
So I do this nutty math where if I know someone is crazy, then the person that married them must be crazy, even if I don't know them, because I'm like, to marry someone, you at least
So you think Andrea's crazy?
know enough.
Little bit.
There's a little bit. There's got to be, because you at least have to be crazy enough to marry the crazy person, and to marry them, you have to know they're at least a little bit crazy. It's not like this is surprising to you. You know what I'm saying? So, like Mariah Carey, it seems like she's nutty just from her Cribs stuff and like some of her
Well, I do believe she was diagnosed bipolar, and now she's on medication and stuff. So I think she's reeled it in. But there was a little sketchy period
Oh,
there.
but it's in there. She's just taking the pills.
But
to
it
keep
seems
it
like
normal.
she's taking the guidance though, because
Yeah.
it was like there was a time when everybody was like, "Have you seen that Cribs with the Mariah?"
Remember when she came out to TRL with an ice cream cart and stuff?
Yeah,
It was
like
real-
there was
real
a time
weird.
when everybody was
Manic
like, "Have you
Crib.
seen?"
Nobody locked her up and put her in a psych ward like they did Britney.
But I think she totally different things, and you are correct. But I feel like Mariah was like, okay, or somebody got to her and like leveled with her, and she was like, okay. And it seems like she may not be like dialed in perfectly, but it seems like somebody is controlling that message now.
Well,
because you don't hear about her being nutty anymore.
You take the medication and stuff, and it'll keep you at bay, but you're always like one pill, one bad day, one weight fluctuation away from a manic episode. You know what I'm saying? Like it's close. I think you're never, it's like alcoholism or whatever. You're managing it the rest of your life, right? So you're managing your bipolar or whatever it is, just to maintain within societal norms,
right?
Right. So people stop bothering you about why you're so crazy.
Can we go back to Nick Cannon for a second?
Sure.
I know he said some things I want to say last year that kind of put him on the hot seat as far as people saying, well, you're a crazy person because you're being racially insensitive or weird or whatever. Okay. Doesn't matter what it is. But why does he still hold a certain level of entertainment like hosting power? Because I feel like there's so many good people in Hollywood that could do an excellent job, because hosting is hard. That's what I'm trying to say, is hosting is hard.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a special person to host. I do believe that Nick Cannon is a good host. I'm not a big fan, but that doesn't mean he's not good at what he does, right? I mean, obviously he's good at it. He's made it to the top tier of hosting, right?
Yeah, he's got jobs.
Yeah, he's got jobs. But why? Because why
some people don't want to do that, though. You gotta, a lot of people probably don't even want to do that job because it is hard, and it takes, you gotta improv, you gotta improvise, you gotta change at the last second. A lot of times you're put on the spot and live.
Yeah, think quick on your feet, kind of a thing.
Yeah, in front of a live audience and stuff. So there's a lot of moving stuff that if you're not used to that or good at it, you don't want. Why take the job? Also, I'm sure it pays pretty well comparatively, but it's probably not the most high-paying job.
Yeah, like Christine says, Kim Jong could do it, and he's not a racist. And I think Nick is. He said some pretty...
He said some anti-Semitic stuff on one of his podcasts, and he got temporarily fired from Viacom, CBS, and lost his show Wild 'N Out.
Yeah. But he's good. I think he's okay.
Did he say it as a joke, or did he say it as like a hate? Because intent is a lot of it. A lot of times you say a bad joke, they'll slap your pee-pee a little bit.
He promoted an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory and praised the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. I don't have the exact statements that he said, but he did. He originally, remember, he refused to apologize, and then that's when he got temporarily fired. And then 2 days later, he apologized on Twitter, and now he's saying he doesn't want forgiveness, he wants to learn. So now he's inviting rabbis and Jewish leaders onto his radio show to have open, constructive conversations. And
better that than doubling down, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's still crazy to me that at this this probably happened.
He says it's not about cancel culture, it's about council culture.
Well, then
you
have
council culture. Wow, Nick.
This is why Nick Cannon's got those monies.
Yeah, you got that smooth turban monies. Is he still wearing a turban?
He is.
Okay.
I
don't think it's called a turban. I don't want to be disrespectful. It's whatever, head thing.
I do laugh at when anybody and big corporations will do this. You see the NFL did this big time, which is so cheesy and so blatantly apparent that you're like, oh, come on. Where all of a sudden they'll hold a certain stance, no, not like don't you kneel, and then all of a sudden when it's better for business for them to go opposite, they go hard. Well, we'll paint Black Lives Matter on the entire end zones, both sides. So kneel, everybody kneel, get down, kneel, and it's like, come on, it's so blatantly obvious you're just pandering.
Absolutely.
But we all are we're watching football. But it's like, so when anybody says something. And then all of a sudden they're like, I'm not apologizing for that. And then they're like, it's all about understanding. You're like, your publicist yelled at you, and everybody in your camp is like, listen, you cannot let this dry up. Just say you're sorry, go through the protocols, and do what and then they're like, all right. And then you go through this, so you're like, all right. I guess that's what we do as society now. We're like, it's just so shallow. It's like, yeah, he said something stupid. He's ignorant. He didn't know better. And then of course now he's apologizing because you got to work, right?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Let's talk Mariah Carey for a second.
I didn't know Nick Cannon had lupus.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned that in the chat, and I just looked it up. I had no idea.
Yep, he does. My dad had lupus. He got adult onset lupus.
That's what Trick Daddy has too, right?
I believe so, yes. Let's talk Mariah Carey for a minute. Older than 50 now?
Oh, yeah. Mariah Carey's
What's
probably...
she look like now? Because, okay, there's a weird...
great.
She looks great. Did you see her Christmas special? She's 52.
There's a weird disconnect I have with Mariah Carey in that, look, okay, remember butterfly style Mariah Carey, tiny jean shorts, curly hair, super high roller coaster song, whatever that was?
Yeah.
Where she's on the roller coaster. Fantasy? Yeah. So I have that Mariah Carey in my brain. And then the other one I have is like more voluptuous Mariah Carey, big bosom, thicker, big butt, gowns, like wearing flowing gowns.
Oh, yeah.
But both
big
equally,
gown.
now follow me, both equally hot.
Yes.
Because you have like younger, playful, 20-year-old Mariah roller coaster butterfly, and then you have big, voluptuous, milfy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever been not attractive to me.
No.
Like, I think she's all like her pivot from like, I guess, young superstar to what, diva? Isn't that what she is now? Like, has been pretty darn good. And she weathered the crazy pretty well, right?
Not bad.
Not bad.
She got through it.
Except that time that Eminem made that really bad song about her. It was a good song, though.
I don't remember.
And remember she had a retort song? Remember they had a beef for a little bit?
Oh, like what is Mariah Carey going to be able to sing that's going to do anything to Eminem? Like, we're going to beautiful sing a mean song to
I'm
me?
going to revisit those today.
That was a good time when Eminem was shaking up everybody, right? He'd like do songs, and then they'd sit him at the MTV Music Awards like next to the people he was mean to.
Yeah.
And then we'd all sit back and watch.
Christina Aguilera.
Let's all watch.
Well, that told me, I was like, oh, they're all in
on
there.
it.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm gonna, because
it was all fun,
and that's the same
tongue in
thing.
cheek.
It's all promotion
with like Machine Gun Kelly and stuff. I'm like, you have to realize, and everybody around you, like when you come out with some sort of diss track about someone, that is great for them, and the amount of publicity, if you put a monetary value on that, I don't even know what that'd be, but I'm like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, $1 million of publicity for Machine Gun Kelly that Eminem gave him. Yeah. So it's like he's not dumb enough to think that this is somehow hurting him, right?
Well, I mean, just
you're giving this guy $1 million.
Well, do the math, right? It's been it's probably been about a year since they did that, or even longer. And look at how big of a star Machine Gun Kelly is now. He's one of the biggest.
He's shacking up with Megan Fox.
Not even in rap. This dude in rock music is a big deal.
Yeah, his last album blew up.
It's a good album.
So it tells me,
not my thing, but it's good.
I may be wrong, but this tells me that Eminem's intention was to help Machine Gun Kelly, and they probably had a meeting and said, "Hey, I'll do this diss track. You'll diss me back. Whatever. This will be huge.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
It'll be basically making you millions of dollars." Now, I don't know if Eminem has any sort of business dealings behind the scenes or something like that, or maybe it's just like, hey, I want to blow up your career, but it couldn't have been.
You think it's a lot more calculated then?
Well, how could it not be, right? Like, it couldn't be, because if Eminem really hated this guy, he'd never talk about him.
He did mention that, though. He did say that. He's like, I should not respond at all because you're nothing on my radar, kind of thing. But then he did. Then he made a diss track.
When you really are done with it, if you really are done with it, you're done with it.
Yeah, I just can't believe.
We got to talk about Vince McMahon. I watched WrestleMania over the weekend. We got to talk about that. Yeah. I got to pull the clip from the beginning of WrestleMania. Oh my God, this old man. Oh no,
it was HGH crazy.
You got to put him. You got to lock him away. His face looks like shiny porcelain.
He's 77 years old.
It looks weird now. He's hit that point where you can manage the facial reconstruction and the Botox. You can manage it for a while.
Oh, but then it goes off a cliff.
And then it goes off a cliff. It hits like a point where your skin, I don't think, takes it anymore, and then you end up looking like Shiny Doll. And he looks like a crazy Shiny Doll, and it's correct because the voice is still like this, and he looks like a crazy Shiny Doll.
And he's still big, puffy ripped.
It's weirder now because, I believe, I think his body's unraveling. I think all the stuff he's done to it, it's happening.
But he's at 77. He's still pretty good.
It looks so bad. I was looking at it. He's standing in front of all the wrestlers, and they're doing a big welcome to WrestleMania thing. And look at me, I'm a Shiny Doll.
That's what I want to be when I grow up. All right, bye.